In this short video guide, we will introduce the online quantitative chemistry course and suggest some ideas and resources linked to this that are suitable for home learning. Why do the course? It's about teaching them all. And many of you know this topic can be a real issue for students. Some will get it straight away, but others will really struggle with it, particularly the maths. This makes it a real challenge to teach, yet it is vital to our subject. So what is covered? We'll look at the relevant chemistry, we'll look at student misconceptions and how they can be challenged, we will look at a variety of teaching and learning styles and activities, and all will be put into a variety of contexts. As you can see, the course has 9 topics. These can be worked through in any order you like and be revisited as many times as is needed. You have total flexibility. We will now look at the conservation of mass topic in more detail. All topics follow the same structure. Each will start with the thread of ideas. This will help you plan your lessons, as it shows how the key ideas and concepts build on each other. Next, we have the core idea. This is where key chemical content is covered in a variety of different ways. This is what students need to know. Then we move to exploring understanding. This is where we consider different teaching approaches and methods, as well as possible student misconceptions and how they can be dealt with. After exploring, we move to developing understanding. This is where we look at one student activity in more detail. In this case, it is the reaction between potassium iodide and lead nitrate. Then we have checking understanding, where you can use multiple choice quizzes to test your knowledge of this particular topic. The next section is applying understanding. This is where you will find links to a variety of cutting-edge articles which will provide you with fresh, exciting contexts to investigate the chemistry being covered in this topic. For example, we often state that natural cycles provide a good starting point for the conservation of mass. Students see substances being recycled and not used up. But here we have an article about how sea urchins inspire carbon capture and storage, a fascinating way in. In this last section, you will find a variety of downloadable classroom resources. Now we have introduced the course, we are going to shift our focus to ideas, resources and activities suited to home learning. Firstly, and appropriately, we will look at the Starters for 10 activities, followed by the periodic table app, which will whet everyone's chemical appetite. Then we have the concentration simulation, swiftly followed by the titration screen experiment. Finally, we will look at some practical activities that can be completed at home. The Starters for 10 activity consists of a variety of question sheets which allow students to practice mole calculations. We all know that this practice makes perfect. These activities really helps this to happen. On the screen you can see a couple of examples of the questions that are found here being completed. Don't worry, there are plenty of others at a variety of levels, providing a great resource for home learning. Oh, I almost forgot, they do come with answers. Now we come to one of the highlights, the RSC periodic table app, easily downloadable from either app store. As you can see, it's colourful, it visually draws you in, it's interactive, you can click on elements to find out a whole host of information about them, about their structure, their uses, etc. It allows you to set engaging activities for your students, like element quizzes and treasure hunts. Importantly, this will help your students become familiar with the elements and their symbols, which we all know is absolutely vital for them to progress in the subject. Simulations can be used to reinforce concepts, especially when you don't have access to a lab. In this concentration simulation, students could investigate how the colour of a solution changes with concentration, or describe how to dilute a solution to a specific concentration. This is how it works. Put the concentration probe into the water. Choose a substance to test. Add some solid. Note the colour shade and concentration. Add some more solid. Note the new readings. Repeat a number of times until you can spot the pattern. Now we look at making a dilution. Here we need to dilute the solution by adding water. Starting with 1 mole per decimetre cubed solution, remove half of the solution and replace with water. The students could then go on to make a series of dilutions. Other simulations, including balancing chemical equations, are available on the website. The titration screen experiment provides students with the opportunity to carry out their own titration at home. The package comes with video clips to set the scene and a variety of tasks to work through, including practice calculations. We will now look at 2 ideas for practical activities that can be done at home. The first is a modelling activity. Models are often used to teach chemical formulae and balancing equations. So why not encourage your students to make their own molecular models from things they have at home, such as plasticine, Play-Doh or building bricks. The second activity is called Show Me a Mole. This simple activity fits well with content found in the Understanding the Mole topic in the online course. It can be carried out at home using kitchen scales and household ingredients such as water, table salt, sugar or baking powder. For example, show me a mole of water. Ask your students to work out the mass of a mole of water, measure it out and photograph it. Or show me 0.1 moles of sodium chloride. You could then ask your students other questions, such as, how many sodium ions have you just weighed out? Or, how many chloride ions would be present in 0.5 moles of sodium chloride? We hope you've enjoyed this video. If you would like to sign up for the online course, or if you would like to access the resources from the Royal Society of Chemistry Education website, please follow the links shown.
Inspiring your teaching and learning.